Prince William's fury at Meghan Markle's Princess Diana as ever wine stunt has been revealed. And the way that he's really feeling about this is not how the mainstream media will lead you to believe.
Prince William is said to be at breaking point. New reports reveal he's furious and disgusted after what insiders are calling a tasteless and cruel publicity stunt by Meghan Markle. What happened? Why is William privately raging? And how did Meghan cross a line so serious the future king reportedly refuses to forgive her?
I'll show you the revelation from Kinsey Schofield in just one moment, but first, royal YouTube sensation according to Taz joins me now. Now, Tash, I'm sure you agree with me that Meghan Markle's stunt of launching this crappy rosé, you've got to buy 3 bottles, you've got to spend $90 for this awful high alcohol content rosé made by people who know nothing about what Meghan Markle likes at some vineyard thousands of miles away, was completely wrong. Because actually, anyone who saw the Diana connection just thought, this is gross. This is such a revolting stunt. But I think what is quite surprising, Tash, in this new reporting from Kinsey, is that the mainstream media, the Royal Rota, do want to lead you to believe that Prince William doesn't care about this stuff at all anymore. He doesn't think about Harry. He doesn't think about Meghan. But I think that does miss a fundamental point, that when it comes to his mother and when it comes to his mother's memory, that is not something he will ever take lightly. That is not something that he can just ignore. And by the way, I completely understand why he feels that way, given he made that cast iron deal with Prince Harry, who has betrayed him on an almost monthly basis now, Tash.
He has, hasn't he? I remember watching that, and that was going to be the last interview that they ever did. And Harry, as we know, for the past, just never ending, really, he's really used Diana's memory. But yes, I mean, straight away you had the connection for Diana's birthday. You've got, the reports that came out after Diana's death. The driver that obviously died as well, he was drink driving. So it seems pretty gross to be promoting your new alcohol range on your husband's late mother's birthday when she was technically killed by, a drink driver, and of course not wearing her seatbelt. But what it means now is Meghan, every single year, she will now get to do a little celebration, put herself in front of the camera on Diana's birthday. Every single year, Diana's birthday always attracts a lot of attention. You get a lot more media articles. We get TV documentaries. Prince William, this year, it was perfect, really. It was beautiful. He celebrated the 2nd year of Homewards, the initiative to help, end homelessness in the UK. And that's something that Diana got him into at a very young age. And Meghan, it means now that she'll rear her head every single year on Diana's birthday, celebrating her sip sip hooray, her successful alcohol launch. She's just finding a way now that she can appear every single year alongside Diana. And I think that's sick and twisted, even, to Harry. But we know that she wears the trousers in the relationship, and I doubt that he will say anything. But I can, and I do believe that Prince William will be absolutely furious. I do believe that Meghan is definitely getting under his skin when it comes to anything to do with his mother, and it's something out of the many things Harry has allowed his wife to do. Again, it's just twisted, isn't it? I mean, there's no way that you can say that she hasn't done this on purpose.
She absolutely did it on purpose. I mean, she even briefed Hello magazine, almost boasting about it. So I know this was absolutely purposeful. I think what's quite interesting to me is that the official narrative, though, coming out of Kensington Palace is that William doesn't even look at these things anymore. But come on, that's so naive. Of course he does. Of course he knows what Harry and Meghan are doing. Of course, 9 times out of 10, he ignores it. But of course, when it involves Princess Diana, he doesn't. So look, Tash, let's take a look at some of this reporting from Kinsey Schofield. I'll get you to react off this first part off the back. This is in conversation, by the way, on the brilliant new Maureen Callahan show, The Nerve.
Let's break down the full story behind this shocking royal fallout. According to palace insiders and royal commentators, Meghan's recent highly publicised appearance at the Invictus Games with Prince Harry and their children has been branded a sick PR move by some within the royal family.
Become a housewife already. Just become a housewife already. That's what they do. They start wine brands and then they branch out into other whatever. But apparently, so she has chosen a very specific date to launch, and apparently Prince William is none too happy about this.
Right. So I have a source that says Prince William was not impressed to read that Meghan was launching this alcohol product on Princess Diana's birthday. My source said it's not lost on Prince William that Meghan has launched an alcohol brand on his mother's birthday, the very mum he lost in a drink driving tragedy. When I asked them if there was anger about Meghan using Diana's birthday to promote her commercial products, because this is not the first time she's done this. She hijacks royal events and important dates constantly. My source replied, it's what he's come to expect from her. He doesn't think much of her. They also said William and Catherine been quite good at ignoring the Sussexes, but anything to do with his mother is still a tender spot. I want to stress the royal family actually does want Harry and Meghan to succeed in whatever they choose to do. The belief is if they feel secure and financially confident, the attacks on the royals will eventually stop.
Tash, your reaction?
I think the last bit's a little bit naive to think that Harry and
Totally.
Meghan especially, will ever stop.
None ever stopping.
They're not going to. They're not going to. And when it does eventually happen, I think we can all see that it will happen. And Harry and Meghan go their separate ways. Meghan will still continue to attack the monarchy. It is her biggest earner. It is the thing that has gained her the most notoriety. It is the thing that will continue to keep Meghan in the newspapers, on chat show hosts, sofas, and things like that for many, many years to come. It doesn't matter if she is successful with her as ever brand, but if she's going to continue treating the customers the way that she's doing, that's not looking so good. That'll go the same way as her 40 by 40, her podcasts, and anything else that Meghan has conjured up out of her little cauldron. But yes, I don't believe that if they are successful, that they will stop attacking the family. I mean, Harry is always making digs. We saw it recently on the BBC interview. He's still making swipes at his family and allegations that are honestly mind-blowing. And yeah, I don't think it's going to make a difference whether it's a success or not. I think that Meghan and Harry are always going to continue trying to go for the royal family. And that's why I don't believe that Harry or Meghan, and the terminology which makes me want to slap someone, and that's the olive branch. There is no olive branch. They do not want an olive branch. They want war. They do not want peace, because war is financially beneficial to them.
100%. And it's like, even an olive branch, though, isn't an olive branch, because Harry has made it very clear he is only going to accept the total impossible for both Charles and William, right? Because it's like a full-fledged apology to Meghan Markle.
On TV as well.
Yeah, exactly. And overturning the security. It's just ludicrous. Oh, yeah. And by the way, giving Archie and Lilibet titles and a royal role. I mean, the guy's a joke. But look, Maureen Callahan actually had something quite interesting to say on this too, Tash. Watch.
Launching an alcohol product on Princess Diana's birthday, it's not tone deaf. You know, it's not tone deaf. It's incredibly insensitive.
You know, that's a nice sentiment. The idea that if they feel successful or become successful, feel financially solvent, the attacks will stop. But I think it's almost a tautology that they won't, because the only thing that really gives those two relevance is their animus and hatred of the royal family and whatever secrets they have to sell out. Hence, you see something like this, a tasteless launch timed to Diana's birthday when she was killed in a drunk driving accident.
Right. I mean, the fact that anyone should that fact alone should have disqualified anyone any alcohol related product from launching on her birthday. I get frustrated when I even think about it because I think to somebody like you or I, that's common sense. And Meghan Markle has spent years aligning herself with Diana's legacy. With that history, you can't claim you didn't know. When you've built your entire brand around intention and purpose, this is a conversation you and I regularly have. You'll talk about a comma missing, or when you read some of Meghan Markle's as ever emails, she's trying to tell us that she's obsessed with the detail. This kind of move doesn't read as accidental. It reads as careless at best and cruel at worst.
Yeah.
Tash, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It was so funny. I hadn't actually watched that, and I love both of those women, and they're both, yeah, exactly my thoughts on that. I think it is very cruel. Kinsey's right. I think that is more the path that Meghan chooses to go when you think of all the horrible things that she's done to the royal family. And yes, I don't think that they'll have any intentions of stopping. But yes, I do find it really dark and really twisted that she did do the alcohol launch on Diana's birthday. And yes, I do believe that William and Catherine do their absolute best to ignore anything that those two get up to. But like you said, there's going to be certain things. And I also think the other thing that would have got up William's back would have been when she started doing the buy my clothes off of this link, Duchess of Sussex, and then she started using outfits that Prince George and Princess Charlotte has famously wore, because she didn't dress her children like that. And they obviously were very famous photographs, the dresses and the little pajama set that Prince George wore when he met Barack Obama. So quite clearly she's using their children to try and merch as well as her own. So I do believe there are certain bits like that that would definitely really get under William and Catherine's skin. But I think Meghan does it on purpose. I think she's very, very vindictive.
Prince William allegedly believes the Sussexes used Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet as PR pawns, staging emotional moments, timed photo releases, and subtle royal symbolism to gain sympathy and headlines. One source close to Kensington Palace said it was manipulative and grotesque, using innocent children to rebuild their image.
Big time, because in that Emma Grede interview, Tash, Meghan actually raised the fact that she was uncomfortable with other people affiliate marketing of Archie and Lily. And it's like, oh my God, you're doing it to William and Catherine's children. So number one, you're a total hypocrite. Number two, it's the least classy thing for a celebrity, especially a celebrity who views herself as royal, even though she's not, to raise affiliate marketing links during an interview. It just shows you, like, her head is in such a different place to anyone who actually cares about others or actually cares about using their platform to do good things. She cares about one thing: money, money, money. But Tash, I wanted to ask you about the Emma Grede interview, because I don't think we've spoken about it, have we? Because you were moving. I don't think.
I'll be honest with you. I've watched bits of it. I have watched bits that have been flagged up, because I have reached a point where I feel that I've been pretty oversaturated with a lot of Meghan stuff after watching With Love Meghan and listening to some of the podcasts and everything else. So I have cherry picked. So some of this might be news to me, but what parts?
Well, it was more that there was like a genuine debate going on amongst our community, if that's what you want to call it, about whether Emma Grede was actually pro-Meghan or anti-Meghan. So, for example, like Angela Levin on this show made the argument that she thought Emma Grede was actually quite cleverly, purposefully making Meghan Markle look bad. Now, that wasn't my view. My view is that Emma Grede was trying to make Meghan Markle look good. She was sort of kissing her ass, as most interviewers of Meghan do. But it's just that Meghan Markle is so intrinsically bad. You know, she is such a bad person that even when there is someone who is trying to make her look good, trying to help her, Meghan can't help herself. And I think I was proven right this week, because Emma Grede appeared on the UK woke ITV lunchtime show Loose Women, which is a bit like the American version. It's like the British version, sorry, of the American show The View. And all of these people are usually, awful. Like, because most of these people, like the host is this woman called Charlene White, and she's massively pro Meghan Markle. But they did have a woman on called Janet Street Porter, who I would argue is not particularly pro Meghan. And she was trying to make the point to Emma Grede, like, oh, you made Meghan look a bit bad, didn't you? But Emma Grede was totally defensive and stood up for Meghan, which, as I say, I think proves my point. Oh, yeah, and Charlene White laughing along. So do you see what I mean? I think Emma Grede is just a Meghan Markle shill, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few bits that I did watch. One bit in particular was when Meghan was trying to say that it was very, very hard for her to get acting roles because of being biracial. Now, we've heard this line before, which always makes me laugh because I've seen lots of snippets of Meghan's acting over the years. And I mean, she was okay as Rachel Zane, but I believe that's because she pretty much played herself. But her other roles where she's been a photographer or she's got a cameo bit, she didn't get roles because she's not a great actress. And I think there was an executive, someone that had spoken out a long time ago that had worked on, a lot of shows. And they said, the thing is with Meghan, she can't play anyone other than herself. And that's why Rachel Zane did work for her. But it was the way Emma's face when Meghan said, no, I just couldn't get any acting work because I was biracial. It wasn't like it is now, 2025. And it's like, Meghan, it was the 90s. There were plenty of biracial, and successful Black men and women in acting. But it was Emma Greed's face when she went, really? Really? And I was like, oh, maybe she is going a little bit, not completely Jamie Kern Lima that just kind of grinned and nodded like some scary waxwork dummy. But I did think there was a bit there where she seemed to be saying, hey, come on, you're lying a little bit here, like Mariah Carey when she called her a diva. It's a bit like, really, Meghan? Really? Is that the truth? But otherwise, yes, she was defending her. And I think you're completely right. It was about making Meghan look good. But she's so, in my personal opinion, very unlikable and not a natural person. She doesn't have a natural flow when she talks to people because she's always processing her next thought. Always. She's not relaxed. She's always thinking about anything and everything, even from wiping to no tears to the moments where she's like, oh my gosh, everything is just manufactured and it's as fake as the photos that she puts on Instagram. But yes, I do think that Emma was trying to make her look good. And Emma came across really, really well. She's actually quite likable and funny. But Meghan is she's just fake. She's just fake. She's too stiff and she's fake.
For William, who has worked tirelessly to shield his own children from the spotlight, this was, well, deeply personal and offensive. One thing is clear. Prince William isn't just upset, he's outraged. And if the reports are true, this latest stunt may have obliterated any path to reconciliation.
Totally. And it was like during that interview when Emma Grede was saying, the only way you can be successful now in this new media world is authenticity. And Meghan's like, yeah, totally. You've got to be authentic. You can't think about these things as like you are literally the least authentic person in the world. Tash, a couple of big stories from this week that I want to discuss. First, you have accused Meghan of stalking Catherine a little bit. This is to do with the whole orange blossom thing, right? Because of course Catherine's favourite perfume is Jo Malone. Well, actually, your tweet sums it up best. Your post on X sums it up best. Catherine's favourite fragrance is Jo Malone Orange Blossom. She had the same scented candles at her wedding, and Meghan Markle's latest offerings include Orange Blossom Honey. Someone needs a serious mental health check for stalking behaviour. And I think it's absolutely fair to say now, isn't it, that Meghan is very often inspired by, that's a nice way of putting it, a very nice way of putting it, inspired by things that Catherine has a genuine passion for. We see it all the time, be it beekeeping or taking the children to a farmer's market. And it's like, come on, you didn't know about Jo Malone Orange Blossom, Meghan, before Catherine. You had no idea about that before it was Catherine, before you knew that it was Catherine's favourite perfume.
Dan, it's the same as making jam. Catherine and Pippa and even James Middleton. A story came out a long time ago that their grandmother taught them how to make jams and chutneys. There was a famous story with the Queen where they always give each other gifts at Christmas, little thoughtful things rather than expensive things. Because, I mean, what do you give a member of the royal family at Christmas? Come on, let's be real. So they do funny gifts and joke gifts and just little bits and bobs, little nice trinkets. And she famously gave the Queen some jam. And I believe this is where Meghan has started her idea of doing jam. Now, as I said earlier, I am a honey connoisseur. I love honey. I get it from the farmer's market. I try all different flavor honeys. And I know there is over 300 different types of honey around the world. And let's not get into the amount of infusions that you can have to that. She picks orange honey blossom or orange blossom honey, and orange blossom is Catherine's favorite scent. I mean, this is single white female. I've seen that film. I remember watching that film. It is creepy. It is creepy because she's definitely doing it on purpose. Even that picture of her swinging on the swing where, you know, there was a photograph of Harry swinging on that swing as well. And the photographs look very, very different because she's done her Instagram perfect Photoshop within an inch of its life, but she's Photoshopped it to make it look like the one of Catherine when she was on that swing in the garden that she helped design. And it's obsessional. Again, that's another thing that I'm sure probably gets up Prince William's nose, because she treated Catherine horribly. She was definitely part of all of the rumours, I believe, that circulated. And the fact, let's not forget, Omid Scobie, he announced Catherine and the King as the royal racist, trying to rear their head up that again. And Meghan and Harry have allowed that rumour to continue and to go ahead because they've never, ever called it out. Meghan is obsessed with the Princess of Wales. And when she's not emulating her, she's definitely trying to, I believe, to put false information out there in the world, because I think she's definitely linked to Omid Scobie. We know that from Finding Freedom, but that's just my thoughts on that one.
Totally agree. By the way, Nancy Sidley summed it up, I think, quite well this week by saying Instagram versus reality and putting side by side the pictures of Catherine very naturally at the NHS planting the roses, you know, where it's not edited and the cameras were there.
Dirt.
Yes, exactly. Actual dirt versus, you know, the Jake Rosenberg version of Meghan, which we see there, which is totally fake, isn't it? And I think it does sum them up quite well. Why is it Tash, she only seems really happy and content these days when she's pictured with Jake Rosenberg anyway, moving quickly along?
They seem to be very affectionate with each other, is all I say. She looks far more relaxed with him than what she ever does in her photographs of Harry, which look about as staged and as fake as her Instagram pictures, really. But,
Tash,
yes.
I do have to ask you, though, about what I think is by far the biggest story of the week, because it's history. Oh, yes. Sally Beadle-Smith and her revelations from Lady Elizabeth Ansell, the late Queen's cousin, and let's just be clear about it, best friend, confidant, woman who spoke to the late Queen every single week, or saw her actually every single week, but actually spoke to her sometimes multiple times a week, revealing from beyond the grave that Meghan and Harry treated the late Queen appallingly even before the wedding, Tash. So that 10-minute phone call where Harry berated her, that moment when the late Queen asked about Meghan's dress and she refused to answer, and probably, Tash, the most important revelation of them all, which is that the late Queen did not think that Meghan was in love with Harry, and indeed she had engineered the whole relationship. Whoa. I mean, obviously, I know it to be true. It was my reporting at the time, but this coming from Lady Elizabeth Ansell with direct quotes from the late Queen, I mean, it's history, right?
So, is Meghan really guilty of using her children for PR, or is the press and the palace blowing things out of proportion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you think the royals have had enough of the drama. And don't forget to subscribe for bold, honest coverage of the biggest royal controversies, scandals and truths. Because behind every photo op, there's always a motive.